Paraguay has just passed a major financial reform about crypto and no one is talking about it. This new law has positioned Paraguay as one of the most attractive countries in the world for launching blockchain investment projects. Overnight, crypto has become a legally recognized security and tokenization became fully regulated. And if you run a Web3 company, invest in real estate, or you're simply curious where the next big opportunity is coming from, these matter to you a lot more than you think. Paraguay has introduced a comprehensive reform of its stock exchange and securities framework, with the aim of finally developing a modern financial system connected to global markets. This new law introduces many changes that won't matter to you unless you want to list your company on the Paraguayan stock exchange, but it also includes one extremely important change that concerns the world of cryptocurrencies. For the first time, these are now regulated full-fledged securities under the new law. If we look at the text of the new law 7572 of 2025, Article 73 tells us what is considered a valor, meaning a security. And the law specifically mentions those issued, registered, transferred, or stored through a distributed ledger or similar technologies, meaning assets that are issued, registered, transferred, or held through a blockchain or similar systems. So, for the first time, Paraguay's financial market recognizes cryptocurrencies as actual assets subject to all the rules applied to any other security recognized by the law. What changes then? Let me clarify one thing. If you're concerned about taxes or fiscal obligations, nothing changes so far. This law regulates only the Paraguayan stock exchange and its negotiations. But this doesn't mean that the law is insignificant, actually far from it. With this new framework, Paraguay might truly become a sort of new El Salvador, a more modern one where blockchain is used to issue securities in a fully transparent way under the same level of scrutiny and disclosure requirements for the issuance of shares. One quick thing to consider is that trading valores is now strictly tied to casas de bolsa, meaning licensed brokerage firms in Paraguay. Therefore, to operate as a cryptocurrency exchange here in Paraguay, you would technically need a broker license. I don't think, of course, this is gonna stop Bybit, Binance, or any of the major operators from functioning in Paraguay, but technically, according to the new law, they would need to establish themselves locally as casas de bolsa. I doubt Paraguay actually cares enough to try blocking access to these exchanges, and I doubt these exchanges will even notice the reform. But in theory, this creates a question mark around the continuity of international exchanges operating here in Paraguay. Let's get to the really juicy part of this reform. Paraguay is now one of the first countries in the world to regulate the tokenization of a project. If the tokens issued are linked to the ownership of an asset, to an investment done for profit, or to a debt instrument, then they can legally be offered as securities and enjoy full legal protection. To understand this better, here is an example. Suppose that I want to tokenize the next real estate project by Paraguay Pathways. The law says that anyone who wants to issue securities must be authorized, registered in the Registro Público de Mercados de Valores y Productos, and subject to the supervision of the regulatory authority, which is the Superintendencia. This means Paraguay Pathways cannot just issue tokens on its own like an ordinary startup or business. It must instead become a recognized, authorized participant in the regulated securities market. The relevant articles require fitness and propriety of management, governance standards, internal controls, risk management, and adequate operational capacity. So in practice, I must become a regulated issuer just like companies that issue bonds or participation securities today. Once this is done, I will need to present a prospectus, which will have to be approved by the Superintendencia. In the prospectus, you must include a description of the real estate project, the risks, token structure, investor rights, economic model, cash flow distribution criteria, governance policy for the project, any secondary market liquidity options, use of proceedings, and more. So this document must be really very complete and then registered and made public. After that, I can issue my tokens as proper securities that are registered in Paraguay, which legally represent a share of ownership and participation in the profits of the project. So the tokens will then be offered on the market by the Casas de Bolsa, which can enable investors to invest in the project by buying my tokens or creating liquidity in the market for selling the tokens. Beyond the real estate project, many other things can also be securitized. Companies, dividend flows, consumer credit portfolios, mortgages, and more. It is also very interesting that a foreign company can now also undergo this process and issue tokens under Paraguayan regulation without necessarily incorporating as a local company. As long as the company respects the criteria established by the law, it can tokenize its assets here. And since there are not many countries in the world offering a clear legal framework for tokenization, and actually those that generally do not offer the same tax advantages, of course, I expect many Web3 companies to now arrive on Guarani soil.
To Paraguay! Yeah! Wait for me! Wait for me! Wait for me!
This financial reform also formally introduces for the first time ever the definition and criteria for private and public investment funds. What Paraguay lacked for a long time, so a true real estate investment trust for instance, can now be created in harmony with the new law. The same applies to credit rating agencies and auditing firms, which now have formal recognition and a clear registration. So, I don't know what you think, but I am very excited about this new law, because I sincerely believe that it will take maybe, I would say, between 3 and 6 months before some pioneering projects see the light and can pave the way for then some big Web3 companies to come here. Also, I just got back from the Ethereum Div Connect 2025, where I spoke with many founders about tokenization, and basically they all told me about the same two problems: compliance and investor trust. So now, Paraguay offers a clear regulatory framework with transparency requirements that can actually reassure the investors. So there is a full potential now to create a kind of a Nasdaq of tokenized projects right here in Asunción. Now, will it happen? We'll have to wait and see, I guess, but in the meantime, that's all from Asunción for today, and as always, I'll see you in Paraguay.
You look super impressed with yourself. Show it to the camera.
Yes!
Mauri, salí ahí.
Will it happen? Well, we'll have to see. Cristo, because in Italian it's always we'll have to see.